Quiz 4 solutions for Math 111. We're given this function, f of x here, draws this pretty little graph of it, and asked a bunch of stuff. Asked first to estimate f of -2. So what you need to know is this is the height when the x value equals -2. X value equals -2 right here. And so the height is whatever this value is right here. To me that looks like about maybe -1.5, something like that. Anything close to that's fine. And same thing, f of 1. Okay, now my x value is 1 here. So if I try my best to go straight up from 1, yeah, I don't know. That looks pretty good, right? So maybe 2 or just slightly above 2. Hard to tell. Yeah, you might just call that 2 or 2, 2, 2, 1, whatever. As long as you're close. As long as you can show you know what you're doing, you're fine. Estimate any and all values of x such that f of x equals 2. So this question is tricky because it's kind of like these up here, but sort of going backwards. Now I'm saying that the height is equal to 2. So let's see, that is this line in green here. Well, almost. On that line in green, the height is 2. So I have to figure out what x values have that height. And so it looks like whatever this one is right here, I don't know, -0.7, about. And the other one would be, let's see, whatever this is right here. My picture looks like a number slightly bigger than 1, so I don't know, 1.1. But again, anything close is totally fine. Estimate any all values such that f of x equals -1. Okay, same idea, except now it's when the height is -1. So I'll try my best to, whoa, nope, I won't. Try my best again to draw a straight line when the height is -1. Easier said than done on a computer. Okay, it looks like right here I have an x value that has a height of -1. It's a little bit less than -2. I don't know, to me it looks like about maybe -2.2. Then I got another one right here. Should make these bigger circles so you can tell what I'm talking about. And in red, the points that I was talking about was this height up here and this height down here. All right, anyways, back to green. I'm trying to figure out what x values have a height of -1. So I already got this guy. This one looks like it has an x value of -1. What is that? I don't know, -1.4 or so? It looks like it's between -1 and -2, but maybe a little closer to -1. So, yeah, maybe even -1.3. All right, call it whatever. And finally, it looks like there's another one over here. That's almost a straight line. Maybe I'll try again. That's a straighter line. So whatever this value of x is right here, again, it's between 1 and 2. This one looks a little closer to 2 to me, so I call it 1.6. But whatever. Call it whatever you want. All right, express in interval notation the domain of f. So the domain of f is all x values with a defined output. Kind of think about it as the shadow onto the x-axis here. So it looks like it's everything from, I don't know if I want to use that same color. Maybe I can use blue. Everything from here. This is just going to get messy. I'm not going to label the graph. It's everything from here all the way over to here. It looks like it's everything from -3 all the way over to +2. Interval notation, okay, -3 to +2. I want to have those both closed because these are closed circles at the end. -3, +2. Express in interval notation, estimate the intervals of x on which f is increasing. Okay, this graph is going up, it looks like barely right at the start here. So from -3 to, I don't know, -2.9. -3 to negative 2.9. I don't care if you use parentheses or brackets. I prefer parentheses. I think your book used brackets, which I think is not right. And then it's increasing again. It looks like it starts increasing down here. So whatever this value is, I don't know, it's kind of between -1 and -2. Maybe it's negative 1.6. And it looks like it's increasing all the way throughout here until we get to an x value a little more than 0. 0.1, 0.2, something like that. Let's call it 0.2. And is that all of them? See, it's increasing here, it's increasing here, and I guess that's it. It's never increasing again. So this would be my answer. And then finally, estimate the intervals of x on which f of x is greater than 0. Okay, so now what I got to look at is when is this blue line above my x-axis here? And it looks like it happens at the start, -3. And it stays above the x-axis until I get to this point, whatever the hell this point is. Looks like it's pretty close to in between -2 and -3, so maybe I'll call it -2.5. However, we want it to have an open parentheses here, not a bracket, because for f of x to be greater than 0, I don't want to have exactly -2.5 in there. This one technically could be a union. These technically should be a comma in here, but I don't care if you made that a union. And then let's see, it's above the x-axis again all the way throughout here. So from this value, man, it's hard to see. Is that where -1 was supposed to be? No, -1 is over here. So a little bit further left than -1. I don't know, -1.2, something like that. And then it stays above it all the way until over here. I don't know, 1.5. -1.2 all the way to positive 1.5. I wanted to add something to this quiz. I just realized that I went a little quick. Should probably just make whole new solutions, but I'm a little bit lazy. When we were going through here figuring out the domain, I wrote the answer down here. I talked through it that the domain should be everything from -3 to +2. That's the domain. But I accidentally wrote it down here. This is a whole different question. I skipped completely over this question. This question is saying express in interval notation the range of f. So no longer the domain, the range. So the range is all y values that are outputs. And you don't have to tell me the definition of it or anything. I'm just writing this on the solutions. All y values that are outputs. So if you look at your picture, we can get outputs as far down as -3. Right? If you put 2 into this thing, it looks like -3 will come out of it. So as far down as -3 and all the way up to 4, maybe even a tiny bit higher than 4. Maybe I'll call it 4.1. So what I'm saying is we have everything from -3 here all the way up to maybe it's 4.1, some value just greater than 4 up here at the top. And all those heights can come out. So those are what the range, that interval is what the range is. So now I think I've answered all the questions. So now that's the end of this quiz.